Welcome to the Greater Essex County District School Board's presentation on Transition Planning to Adulthood. The information contained in this presentation is compiled from the documents provided by the Ontario Ministries of Education, Communities and Social Services, and Children and Youth Services. Please refer to these ministry websites for the most up-to-date documents. This is the fourth in a series of presentations designed to support teachers in understanding a component of the IEP process and transitioning students with special needs into adulthood. In November 2011, the Ministries of Community and Social Services and Children and Youth Services developed a provincial transition planning framework to improve transition planning for young people with developmental disabilities. This transition planning begins at the age of 14 and continues until the youth is 21 years old. This approach is designed to help young people with developmental disabilities prepare for the transition to adulthood and leaving children's services. It outlines how young adults and families can access financial supports, housing, recreational activities, and employment. This framework describes how transition planning occurs in each community and school, and identifies who is responsible for planning, development, and implementation. A transition plan is a guide which outlines short-term and long-term goals based on a young person's strengths, interests, values, and beliefs. It builds on personal goals, strengths, and capabilities. It is an understanding of what is of value and how the young adult can participate in the community. Like all of us, people with disabilities want to have opportunities to work, live with people they choose to, participate in activities they like, and have relationships with family and with friends. The transition plan focuses on the development of relationships as well as ways young adults and families can access community resources to support a good life. Transition planning gives purpose and direction. It provides predictability of what transition activities need to be completed year by year, dependent on the young adult's age. It involves those people that a young person knows are going to help them and who will assist them in decision-making and achieving goals. Young adults with disabilities have the right to be treated with dignity and to be respected as whole persons. They have the right to choose what they will do with their lives to maximize their potential. The young person is a starting point for all planning. They direct the planning process, which often happens with the help of family and friends. Because it is their life, it is their plan. Family members are some of the best people to be involved in the planning process because they care most about the young adult and know them the best. Educators can also be helpful in the planning process. They are not to be decision makers, but are certainly valuable in providing information that might help a young person with a developmental disability make decisions or to connect with others who can assist them to reach their goals. Facilitators are skilled communicators whose job it is to help young people plan and think about their future. They get to know the young adult well, bring people together, share information about resources in the community, and build on strengths and abilities. People in circles of support may include friends, friends of family, neighbors, and/or church community. Young adults can count on these people to help figure out what they want and how to get it. When young adults with developmental disabilities turn 16, families can contact Developmental Services of Ontario, DSO, and ask them to review the child's psychological assessment to see if it meets eligibility for funding. All young adults must have a psychological assessment stating that they have a developmental disability in order to apply for support dollars. If the young person does not have a psychological assessment or has one but the diagnosis is not clearly stated, then the family must obtain one before they can apply. A referral for an assessment can be made through DSO if families are unable to do a private assessment. Young adults with developmental disabilities can apply for special services at home. However, these services don't continue beyond the age of 18. Planning for Success forums are information sessions that are organized once or twice a year by Greater Essex County District School Board, Windsor Essex Catholic District School Board, and Windsor Essex Family Brokerage for families to provide information about community supports and how to access them. School staff are always welcome to attend these events. When a young person with a developmental disability turns 17.5 years of age, families can call Developmental Services of Ontario to be assessed for adult supports and services. Young adults must have a psychological assessment stating they have a developmental disability. While you can apply at age 18 for financial support, there may be a long wait list, which is why the transition planning needs to begin early at 17.5 years of age. Once paperwork has been submitted to the DSO, families will be contacted to set up an appointment to begin the application process. On the day of a young adult's 18th birthday, Special services at home and respite funding are no longer funded, and families will need to complete the above process to be eligible for adult services. Please speak to your educational coordinator regarding information about any upcoming Planning for Success sessions. The following are supports and services that a young person with developmental disabilities has access to once an assessment through the DSO has occurred: Family Services Windsor Essex, Community Living Essex County, Community Living Windsor, Christian Horizons, St. Francis Advocates, Windsor Essex Brokerage for personal supports. A transition plan must be developed for all students who have an IEP, whether or not they have been identified as exceptional by Identification, Placement, and Review Committee. All transition plans must be developed in consultation with the parents, the student as appropriate, and relevant community agencies and/or partners as necessary. This is a sample transition plan that identifies specific transition goals, the actions required to achieve the goals, roles and responsibilities, and timelines for the implementation and/or completion of each of the identified actions. Here are a few helpful links: Developmental Services Ontario, Family Services Windsor Essex, Community Living Ontario, Community Living Windsor, Community Living Essex County, Windsor Essex Brokerage for personal supports. We hope that you find this presentation helpful when supporting a young person with a developmental disability during their transition to adulthood. Thank you.